Writing Our Legacy has always supported diverse voices, encouraged creativity, and built a strong sense of community.
Writing Our Legacy is really the only diversity-led writers' organisation here in Brighton and the South East that exclusively supports other Black and people of colour writers and creatives.
My first piece of writing was published in the Hidden Sussex Anthology, which was the first publication of Writing Our Legacy that came out in 2019. I became interested in writing about the colonial presence in Sussex, and I heard about Caribbean soldiers in Seaford. And when Writing Our Legacy opened a round of funding for research and development into stories around the Sussex landscape, and that round of funding was called Shifting the Gaze. The R&D that I did allowed me to visit Seaford. It paid me for my time to write and research.
I was involved with Writing Our Legacy in the early stages of development to create La Llorona, which was the retelling of a Mexican myth. And it was a site-specific show that took place in a church, and it attracted a multicultural audience. The cast and the creative team were a very broad cultural mix.
I worked as a writer, as a producer, as a facilitator for workshops as well, particularly for Changing Chalk, and also as a supporting editor for the Covert Talent Development Programme, and also as a mentor. And I particularly liked actually collaborating and performing for the Poetry Room, which was in Winchester, which was in Glasgow, which was absolutely amazing experience.
I feel like I found my voice through the Changing Chalk bursary programme. It really has helped me to start being still with nature and taking it in whilst I'm writing.
It was the first time I'd ever been invited to read my writing in public with published writers at the Old Market and Hove with Jacob Ross, Colin Grant and David Nokedi. It was actually a really positive experience.
I've attended about 4 or 5 workshops myself. And as an artist who's learning a new skill in creative writing, it's been very important for me to have that connection, but also connection with other artists and creative writers.
Después del amanecer.
I did some development with Writing Our Legacy, working with them as a poet, or involved in workshops as a writer. And I was published with Covert magazine.
We've been able to work on several projects about storytelling and well-being, and Amy's been able to contact a whole host of incredible writers and members of her network to produce research for the university, which we hope is going to go on to inform equality, diversity and inclusion in academia, but also with Sussex Police.
I was involved with them in terms of a workshop, had a really great workshop. 1 minute I had 7 people. Within a few hours it had grown to 17. And that goes to show you that what they are doing is needed, is really appreciated as well. I love what Writing Our Legacy do.
I gained the confidence to network with other writers, to collaborate with other creatives, to actually think of new projects with the support of Writing Our Legacy. That was absolutely instrumental in me gaining a track record as a writer, as a spoken word artist, and as a poet. Quite phenomenal.
I bring in a lot of writers of color to the university, and I think it's important for our students to get to know them and be inspired by the work.
So creatives should get involved in the Writing Our Legacy network because it is an incredible resource. The people in it are very generous, very mutually supportive. There's lots of information sharing.
It creates opportunities for artists from all backgrounds to share ideas and to create new work.
Writing Our Legacy is incredibly diverse and supportive of its writers. And what I mean diverse is in its practice, in how it delivers work, how it involves the writers. that is beyond their writing, that is to develop their work as facilitators, as producers.
Getting involved with Writing Our Legacy is really fast track to developing as a writer. They set up a project which helps them develop their work. And then since Writing Our Legacy has started getting involved with other organizations, some of those people have gone on to lead projects, offer services and workshops, and become mentors themselves.
This is an organisation that needs to be celebrated for the connections that are made within it, as well as the work that's produced.
There aren't many spaces which are there which are open for black and brown people, which is really shocking because this is a mine of talent which is not being put out there for people, and it's a real problem for the community, and I think Writing Our Legacy addresses it.
Writing Our Legacy has been part of changing the conversation about whose voices matter.
The Poetry Room is a strand of Writing Our Legacy that supports poets and writers to actually perform in different cities in and around the Southeast and actually beyond the region. We connected with other artists and we delivered our poetry with local poets and writers.
I come from Cuba, and one of the things that Writing Our Legacy does is to create a space for diverse voices to express themselves, creates events that are inclusive.
The fact that Writing Our Legacy prepared the ground for all of us to do the work that we've been doing is incredibly powerful. It just means that now the world is ready to hear, but we've been prepared to speak and put our ideas forward.
They do so much diverse work, but in that diversity, they make sure they're very inclusive as well.
I think Writing Our Legacy is a really important organization because they showcase and celebrate and support local writers of color.
The project that I helped to facilitate and took part of, No Place Like Home and the Maisha stories, was really quite incredible and still is, because it's really supporting writers and participants to think around what home means for them and how it has changed and how home lives in their imagination and also in real spaces and places.
It's very important, and what is special about Writing Our Legacy is how it's widened its brief and spreading the word across Sussex and wider.
I think Writing Our Legacy is one way of bringing people together and creating that sense of solidarity and encouragement of each other, and really providing an essential support network for people who might not have the confidence otherwise to kind of push their way through those barriers.
Work that Writing Our Legacy has made possible has widened the definition of what British heritage means. That is an invaluable contribution to the public discourse. I think that the work that we do is for everyone. It might be made by creatives of color, but we, for the longest time, have been listening to stories told to us by white storytellers. It's the time and place now for the stories that we are telling to be told.
And I think for that reason, it needs to be supported, it needs to be funded, and therefore expand wider so that actually our voices are heard as part of the mainstream.
And Writing Our Legacy is more necessary now than ever before. The stories that we have to tell, we are the best people to tell it.
Writing Our Legacy is still a vital platform for sharing our stories.
It's just a fantastic network of people.